So what we're looking at now is Insight Explorer's Easy Builder interface. Along the left-hand side, you have your application steps, and then down along the bottom, you have your working area. In the middle is where you'll see the image and all the tools that you lay down on it. And then on the right-hand side, you can see your results. You can link your inputs and outputs to other results and things like that. So first, we're going to get connected. Right now you can see we're connected to this Insight Micro, and I'm just going to start a new job. Then we have to set up our image. I'm going to put this into live video and wave my hand under it so that you can see that this is the camera that we're connected to. I'm going to change my trigger to continuous for the purpose of the demo so that when I go online we can see the live image underneath the camera. And this step is also where I'm going to set up my calibration. So if I know I'm going to do a distance measurement and I want it to be in real-world units instead of pixels, I can calibrate my camera using edge-to-edge calibration. When I click Select Edges, our smart features will automatically highlight every edge in the image, and then I can select two. I know that the distance between these two edges here is 25 millimeters. So I'll set my dimension and click Calibrate. Now any measurement tools that I lay down later on when we're inspecting our part will be calibrated in real-world units. Next we're going to go to the Locate Part step, and this is where we're going to show off the functionality of our PatMax tool. So we'll add PatMax, and we're just going to pull it around the Cognex logo since we know for a fact that this feature is identical on every single part. We click OK, it trains on that image, and then we can go into online mode. We'll move the part around the field of view. You can see as the shadow of my hand covers the image there, it gets darker. I can even partially obstruct the image, and that crosshair is rock solid. I can move it around. As we hit about 15 degrees rotation, we start to fail, and the reason for that is the default setting for rotation tolerance is 15 degrees. I'm going to change that to 180 degrees for the purpose of the demonstration, and that's 180 degrees in either direction, so it effectively gives us 360 degrees of rotation tolerance for our inspection. I'm going to go offline and then go to the Inspect Part step. Now the first thing that I'm going to look for is a distance measurement from edge to edge. I'm going to measure the distance between the left edge here and the right edge here. And when I add the tool, again, that Smart Limits feature will highlight all of the edges that it finds in the image here. I can select the two that I'd like to measure between, and if we get a little bit closer you can see it automatically sets a search region around where it expects to find that edge. And just by adding this distance tool, Easy Builder has actually created 3 separate tools, 2 edge detect tools and 1 distance measurement tool to measure the distance between those two. If I go online, I can trade that out for my bad part. So this distance is out of tolerance, it's 42 millimeters, and therefore it fails. I put my good part back in, 39 millimeters, and it passes. Now our tolerance is automatically set by the part that the camera is looking at when we create that inspection. And in this case, it was a distance of 39.218 millimeters, and then the min and max were set at plus or minus 5%. Okay, now I'm going to add a counting tool, and I'm going to count the number of holes using my blob tool. Now here we can see it found 4 blobs, but what I'm actually looking for are the 3 holes, and the reason it found a 4th one is I'm getting a little bit of shine back from the middle of the hole there. So what I can do is go into my settings, And I can tell it to look for only black blobs. Since that shine back is white, it's not going to find that as a separate blob, and so therefore now it only finds 3 blobs. But now it's saying that it's out of tolerance because when it trained it found 4. So now we're going to go to our Range Limits tab, and we're just going to click Set Limits, and it's going to check the part that it's looking at right now and reset the min and max tolerance. We put our bad part in, and now we're failing because it's only finding 2 holes. Let's add one more tool. I'm going to go to Identification Tools and tell it to read a 2D code. I don't have to worry about snapping the search region right around my code. I can, leave it the size that it is, make it bigger, it doesn't matter, because it's just going to look for a code in that region, it's going to find it, and it's going to read it. I put my bad part in, and it's still passing because it's still finding and reading that code. Now if we want to, we can go into our settings, and we can tell it to read and verify, or to match string, and it remembers the first thing that it read, so now this is failing because it's not reading the code that it trained on. We put our good part back in, and it's passing because it's reading what it's expecting to find. And I'm going to add one more tool. I want to read this text here using our OCR Max tool. So this time I do kind of want the search region to hug those letters there. And now what OCR Max has done is it found and segmented each of the characters in the string. But now I need to train the string and tell it what it's reading. So in the train string box, I type in the text ABC123 and I click Train All. And now it knows that that picture of an A equals the character A. I put in my bad part, and it still reads it ABA122, and it's passing because, just like before, we told it to read, not to verify. And now we go into our settings and we tell it to read verify, and in this case we do enter the match string that we want it to equal. Now I'm just going to take a minute to talk about communication. Cognex can talk to pretty much any robot or PLC out there. So under this communication tab, we can tell it what device we want to talk to, what the manufacturer is. We can select the protocol from the drop-down list here, and then I'll just click OK. And from here, I can format inputs or outputs to connect to any of those tools that I set up. So, if I wanted to specify from my PLC what my distance measurement should be, or what my ID code should be matching, or what my text should be matching, I can do all that from right in here. So in under 10 minutes I was able to set up a simple job, get it talking to my PLC, and start running my production line.